Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty grim rack with 2 U's and quite a long way from a bingo. Fairly balanced in terms of vowels and consonants. I could play Lulu to get rid of the duplicates and both U's. 26 points for my opponent. Vidya only takes an S at the end. So do I have Lulu? Well, I have Lulu and AL, but I'm not sure that's better than changing. Only 7 points. Do I have something through the V? I don't have to burn both U's, it would just be nice to do so. And I'm also considering column 5. Anything which disrupts this double-double lane has some strategic merit. If I had another I would have Boo Ely. Well, I think I have Lobuli. 16 points, that is better than changing. And I draw the blank. Fantastic. Fairly balanced rack. I have Deutzia with the blank as a Z. Where are the best lanes? Well, I guess column 8, beginning or ending with an A. Nothing's come to mind so far. But I think there could well be something there. So I have in mind an additional A. Not seen anything so far. Okay, nice play by my opponent. So what hooks does Forebode take? Possibly a D. I'm going to check this. I'm not sure of anything. Forebode is good, so I'm going to stop my search for a play in column 8 because I think a column 12 play is going to be better. And I have Audited and Deutzia. And I think Audited is better, because Deutzia takes an S at the end and Audited doesn't. So 96 points. Just wondering about switching the D's around. I don't think that's going to help. I think Audity is good. That's slightly more. I'm just getting something scoring on this double letter square. Audity does take an S, but column I not massive. Sorry, row I not massive. 98 points. Well, a balanced rack. And I only lead by 4 points, so Forebode must have been a pretty good score. 84 points. I have Jip on my rack, which would leave Seed. Can't see anything in column 8 through the B. Geepy not good. Now I have Jip in column 13 at the top, which is quite good, making A, Y and up. Seed, a pretty good 4-letter set, and Vidya takes an S. So quite a close game. $25 points for my opponent. I'm not hearing any system sounds, so I'm not hearing any beeps from ISC, which makes it slightly harder to recognise when my opponent plays. I hope they are being recorded for the video, but I'm not seeing them as I'm playing. And my gyp spots remains available, so I'm inclined to play there for 31. Now this looks close to a bingo. I'm not seeing a 7. What about the A of Vigia? Not seeing anything through that. How about the I? That's also available. No, not seeing anything there. And the E's of order T, or the first of them, is also available. No, so I'm not seeing any bingos with this rack. It doesn't look like the sort of rack which would make a bingo with a consonant. Opponent changes. And I lead by 10. So I guess I'm looking to split up the duplicate T and play off the M. Tim not good, but timed is. And opponent's changed all 7, so he hasn't kept a bingo-y set. So I could play team here. 27 points, slightly dangerous, especially if my opponent's got a J. Does that help? Well, it helps the score. It may hamper, because although DE takes an O in front, it doesn't take an A. I'm going with this. Now, do I have esteemed through an E? No, I don't. So let me go back to plan A, meted for 31. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Teamed for 31, I think it was, or teamed for a bit more. 33, that's the one. Right, this looks pretty good. Resoluto, down from an R, no R available. Is there a 7 here? I lead by 40. There's the floating V. LO takes nothing in front, so a bingo through that would need to begin with the V. Teamed has helped obstruct row H. Any plays onto this triple word square now have to begin with the E. I have the auto prefix, but auto lose, auto soul, they're not good. The B doesn't look useful, so can't see anything through B and A. Lobuli takes nothing in front. Great, only 34 points for my opponent. But my lead, just 9 points. Now what I can do is play OU here for 19 points. Not a terrible score, given I've only got 1 pointers, and this rack leave of stole is pretty good. IU only takes an S, and I've got an S, albeit 3 of them to come. I'm going with this. I have 2 tools and tool set. They play in column 9 and column 13. And that may be it. Well, and column 11. All pretty dangerous in their own way. And it's possible they could all be blocked. But they're available right now. Just 35 points for my opponent. So, I think actually 2 tools isn't a disaster, because I'm not opening up row O. The X has been played. Am I missing a better spot? Can't see anything down from the A. I don't think there's a 3rd anagram, which could play in column 15. I'm going with this. Not good. Whack for available onto an F, but not this F. Mind you, if I can jettison the Q, the rest of the rack pretty good. But I think as the board stands, well, I have cat. That may be the only Q spot I have. 58 points for my opponent. Just 3 points between us. Super tight game. And that's a very volatile move. I'd really like to retain the A if I can. But I can't see a way of doing that. So cat for 24. I draw a couple of E's. Not great since I had a couple of E's. So I don't have an A or an O for going underneath the J. But quite a lot of A's out there, so maybe my opponent will play there. If he does, I've got Weir in column 15. I've also got double EW and triple EW on my rack to sort the rack out. Not sure there's anywhere available for either. Well, in any event, well, I could play triple EW. But look at this, there are no E's to come, so I'm quite happy to retain 2 of them. Am I happy to retain 3? Yes, I think so. Let me check the vowel consonant situation. 9 out of 33. I actually am quite happy to retain 3 E's. Not often one can say that. So we're for 33. And I draw only consonants, and I draw scoring tiles, and I lead by 40 points, so super tight game, and still a blank to come, and an S. But the lack of E's could restrict my opponent's bingoing possibilities. Certainly not many bingo lanes on this board. Column 15, probably the hottest, but such a bingo would have to have an S in first or second place. Other lanes, row J, and row N, and column 4, beginning with the V. So what can I do with this rack? Well, given the drought of vowels, I'd quite like to retain 2 E's. And I'd be looking to play off the F or the H, primarily for score. Wow, look at this, I could play EF. That would be quite something. Setting up an S for column 15. A 7-letter bingo lane ending in S. I've got an S. Just one S and a blank out there. If opponent doesn't have a bingo, well, he may not like burning his blank, but he probably would be okay with burning his S, especially if he's got a Z or a K, so that may be unnecessarily aggressive. However, decent score, decent rack leave, and I do have an S. And no other candidate plays have come to mind. Well, I guess I could play FEH and FE. That has the same demerit in that it's opening up a 7-letter bingo lane ending in S. Although row N is quite close to being such a lane. Can't think of any front extensions to Weir. 12 minutes on opponent's clock, 13 on mine. I'm still undecided about this EF spot. Quite tempting. However, I've just noticed I could play Fey underneath Foreboded, which provides nothing, obstructs column 8, retains 2 vowels, and scores decently well. 23 points. Only 5 fewer points than column 14, so I think that is my preferred play. It doesn't play above Foreboded because EB not good, otherwise it would score a lot more. Although there's a vowel shortage, opponent could be stuck with a bunch of A's and I's. He's spent a while on this move. If he bingos, he'll lead by about 30, so it'll still be close. GOE is good, so column 15 available for plays beginning ES, and also AS and OS, but I've only got an E of the vowels. 3 I's to come, so row L could be quite hot with this Q. Great, just 24 points for my opponent. He doesn't create any new bingo lanes. 19 tiles in the bag, and I've got Fay for 23. Not good. I'm not too surprised about not drawing vowels, but the triplicate N is problematic. And my lead is just 35 points. I'd be looking to play off... Wow, look at this, 2 N's still to come. This could get much worse. That is a bad pickup. The N's are almost more of a priority than the V, because 1 V has already been played, still 16 tiles to come. This is a tight board. And since I had those 4 E's, I haven't drawn any vowels, and I've drawn 6 tiles. I have Envy in row L, which hangs on to 1 E, plays off 1 N, and I'd only be drawing 3 tiles. So if I could dodge the N's, I could be facing a better rack next turn. Only 25 points for ES, so that's not worth burning the S. 4. Very few floating vowels on this board, and none that particularly go well with this rack. Envy takes an S in front, but there's no point in playing that. Opponent blocks that. And scores 40 points, so goes into a 5-point lead, and he burns the S. He could be looking just to outscore me. Probably is. And I'm in trouble with this rack. Just can't see what to do with it. I've got no decent candidate moves that have come to mind. I have to play off at least 1 N. My opponent didn't play off any of them. Can't see anything other than VIN, which only gives me a 1-point lead and effectively puts opponent into the driving seat. V-Day is good, but that's keeping all 3 N's. Now, what about this? I was thinking NON would be a good play because it takes an E, but it also takes an A, and there are 4 A's out there, so big possibility opponent's got one. That's a shame. 11 minutes on my clock, so I'm not short on time, I'm just short on ideas. Should I change? Possibly. But are things going to be any better next turn? Maybe I should just play VIN. VIN. I'm going to. It obstructs plays in rows K and N. And I draw 2 A's. Interesting. So remaining vowels, 5 out of 16. So it's a more balanced bag. And there's just 1 point between us. Opponent 33 for Zyla. Good scoring by him. That's a big score for him. And there are only 6 tiles in the bag. I could do with opening a bingo lane. Well, I was thinking now of playing NON since there's only 1 A out there. But I'm keeping 2 A's and 2 E's, so things have changed. I could play NAE. It doesn't score very much. And there's just the 1 bingo lane in column 15, which opponent could easily obstruct. He could make a 4-letter play in column 14, and the board would then be dead. So, I've got column 15. What I think I want to do is open a new bingo lane and sort out the duplicate. So if I played ANE somewhere, that would do the job. And I could play that here. 6 tiles left, 5 points. The N, well, not a great floater since I've got an N. But maybe my opponent would be more distracted by that than by column 15. And there is a second bingo lane in column 14, overlapping 2 tools. I'm not seeing anything better than NAE in terms of opening a bingo lane. I'm going with this. And I draw 3 R's. How wretched. Wow, and there's still an R out there. So that's a brutal pickup, especially with only 3 tiles in the bag. Snara, not good. Remaining tiles pretty bingo-y. Opponent could be about to bang down a bingo. And he does. Great bingo for my opponent, 75 points. Empties the bag, and he draws an R. So if I'd played off 4 tiles last turn, I could have drawn 4 R's. So I now need to minimise the losing spread. I'm down by 100. Can opponent go out with MRT? I don't think so, so I need to go out in 2. Do I have anything down here? Well, I have NAES, keeping triple R. That's probably not going to enable me to go out in 2. No B available for B triple R. Opponent can't really do terribly much in terms of blocking column 15. Seven minutes on my clock. And I'm just looking to go out in 2 here. Vinal is good, so I was actually creating a new bingo lane in row N. So I could play Sarah here, keeping NR, so I would have Ren. Is there a second spot for NR? Not that I can see. So I need to find something better. 6 minutes on my clock. Vinal good, but Vinel not good. I have snare in column 15. Keep leaving double R. I think I am going to go with Sarah. This is a lost cause. Sarah for 24. And I do have Anne out with Ren. And I have Gon, G-O-N. Great, opponent doesn't block that. Ren for 6. And the final score, 388 to me, 469 to my opponent, a winning margin of 81 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Opponent to go fast plays Vigia. And I play Lobuli for 16, keeping AU. Balu, G7. Yeah, probably a better play. And some of the others maybe as well. Vulu for 16, H4. Yeah, that's good. I play Lobuli. Opponent then has Forebode, which was a great spot. And I have a choice of bingos to put me 4 points into the lead. Gosh, opponent would have had Eolo pile through an L. No L's available. Plays Pogo. And now I have Jip, which looks best. Horrible rack for my opponent. And this is where he changes. And I play Teamed for 33. I could have played the S for 8 more points. I think the S is worth more than 8 points when it accompanies E and T. And I lead by 40. Not a nice rack for my opponent. He plays Weiss. Wow! Out Soul is good. Gosh. Well, I didn't see that. Well done if you did. And that would have been pretty nice. A couple of spots in which to play it. I think I actually said it out Soul and out Lose, but neither registered as being a valid word. So that was quite a significant miss, since I had a 9-point lead at the time. And this was my opponent's rack. Although that was a miss, and I missed out on 50 points, OU looks a pretty good choice from the non-bingo plays, and the rack leave of ELOST is probably worth about 15 to 20 points. So, although it's a 50-point loss in terms of score, it's probably only a 20-point loss taking into account rack leave. Still a bad miss. Opponent plays Locks. I now have tools, 2 tools and tool set. Nice non-bingo play by my opponent for 58 points. And I think it's important to get rid of the queue. Opponent plays Liana. And this was the situation when there were no E's in the bag. They were all on my rack. And I play Weir for 33, and I still like that. Although I think I would have possibly preferred you if the bag had been more balanced. Wow, look at this. Opponent has the blank and an S from here on in. Plays Hughie. I-14. Yeah, EFS for 42. And I played Faye for 23. I still like my play because of this IU hook. And if I played EFS, I would have been throwing away the S that would have been worth keeping for column 15. So I still like Fey. Nice play by my opponent, scoring well, retaining the Z and the blank. And now things go badly wrong. I'm only 5 points adrift, but I've got a shocking rack. And the board makes it worse. I could see nothing decent on offer. And with 2 ends to come, I don't think retaining 3 ends is a good thing to do. Or burning all my vowels. Although maybe that would have been because so few bingo lanes on this board, maybe a play of Esne, obstructing both of these 2 bingo lanes, might have been worth doing. So I play Vin for 6. Opponent plays Xyla. Now I do draw some vowels, but I don't have a bingo. I still have Esne. Maybe I should have done that. Instead I play Nay to set up a new bingo lane. Opponent has non-paid. Wow, not a huge number of bingos, and Esne would not have blocked that. And the bag is empty. I trail by 100. And there's nothing great on offer. So I play Sarah for 24. Our opponent plays them. And I go out with Wren, but minor, E11. Wow, so there was a second out, which I think means that Sarah probably was the best play. If I'd realised there were 2 available outs. And that was the end of the game. So, terrific game by my opponent. Runs out nearly 100-point winner, but 80-point winner. And it was really, really close for most of the game. It was just right at the end where the blank on my opponent's rack and my draw of multiple R's really meant that I had no chance of winning right at the very end. But a very close game throughout and some interesting racks to consider. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.